Welcome to the Info Ghost. Today, we're exploring the fascinating world of ancient rivers, where geologists and researchers have long debated which river deserves the title of the world's oldest. The Earth is constantly shifting, with tectonic forces reshaping landscapes, erasing old geological evidence, and carving out new features. So, determining the age of a river is no simple task. In this video, we'll look at the top 3 contenders for the title of the oldest river on Earth: the Finke River in Australia, the Nile River in the United States, and the Nile River in Africa. We'll also discuss the processes and evidence geologists use to date these ancient waterways. Let's dive into the complex and fascinating history of our planet's oldest rivers. What defines an old river? Before we jump into the contenders, let's take a moment to understand how geologists determine the age of a river. Rivers are constantly in motion, not just in the obvious flow of water, but also in the way they carve into the land. Over time, rivers change course, erode mountains, and form valleys, all influenced by tectonic activity, climate change, and the composition of the surrounding rock. The age of a river is generally determined by studying the geological formations through which the river flows. This involves looking at the rock layers, fossil records, and the erosional features that tell the story of how long a river has been shaping its landscape. Geologists also use dating techniques like radiometric dating of rocks, stratigraphy, the study of rock layers, and paleontological data to estimate the age of rivers. However, because rivers evolve over time, parts of a river may be much older than others, leading to ongoing debates over which river should claim the title of the oldest. 1. The Finke River, Australia. Our first contender is the Finke River, which runs through the arid heart of Australia's Northern Territory. This ancient river may not be as widely known as some of the other famous rivers on Earth, but it holds a special place in the annals of geological history. Geologists estimate that the Finke could be as old as 350 million years, making it a strong candidate for the title of the world's oldest river. The Finke River's current course likely follows the same path it has taken for hundreds of millions of years, which is what makes it so extraordinary. Its age is traced back to the Carboniferous period, a time when Australia was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. The ancient rocks in this region bear the marks of significant tectonic activity, as well as the climate shifts that shaped the landscape over millennia. The river's ancient course runs through the Macdonnell Ranges, an area rich in geological history. The ranges themselves are thought to be over 800 million years old. The river carved its way through these ancient mountains, following fault lines and eroding the terrain over millions of years. As a result, the Finke is not just a river, it is a living timeline of Earth's deep past. The Finke River also holds cultural significance for the indigenous peoples of Australia, particularly the Arid people, for whom the river is known as Larapinta. It features prominently in their Dreamtime stories, which connect the landscape with ancestral beings and spiritual events. For them, the river is not just a physical feature, but a sacred part of their heritage and identity. Today, the Finke is a seasonal river, often reduced to a series of waterholes in the dry season, but its ancient course still dominates the landscape. The Finke Gorge National Park is a major tourist attraction where visitors can witness the remnants of an ancient water system that predates human history by hundreds of millions of years. 2. The Nile River, USA. Moving across the globe, we arrive at the Nile River in the United States. Despite its name, the Nile River is anything but new, flowing through the Appalachian Mountains. It is one of the oldest rivers in North America, and geologists estimate its age to be between 260 to 325 million years. The Nile River's claim to fame lies in its role in shaping the Appalachian Mountains. The river existed before the Appalachian Range formed, which means it likely carved its path through the mountains as they rose, a process that began during the late Paleozoic era. The Appalachian Mountains themselves are remnants of the collision between the ancient landmasses that formed the supercontinent Pangaea. As tectonic plates shifted and uplifted the landscape, the Nile River continued its flow, cutting deeper into the rock and creating the steep gorges and valleys that define the region today. The river runs through 3 U.S. states: North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia, and its surrounding rock formations are some of the oldest in the world. The fact that the river is older than the mountains it flows through is a testament to its ancient origins. The Nile River has been an important waterway throughout history, particularly for indigenous peoples who lived in the region. Long before European settlers arrived, the river provided a source of water, food, and transportation. Later, it played a role in the development of early American frontier settlements and continues to be a valuable resource for local communities. Today, the Nile River is protected as part of the Nile River Gorge National Park and Preserve, a testament to its natural beauty and historical significance. It has become a popular destination for outdoor activities such as rafting, hiking, and fishing. 3. The Nile River, Africa. Our final contender is the Nile River, arguably the most famous river on Earth. While parts of the Nile's modern course may be relatively young, some sections of the river may be as old as 30 million years. This makes the Nile another strong candidate for the title of the world's oldest river. The Nile has a complex geological history that has fascinated researchers for centuries. The river system we see today is the result of a series of geological events, including tectonic activity, volcanic eruptions, and shifts in the Earth's climate. Although much of the Nile's current path developed more recently, certain sections may date back to the Oligocene epoch, making it one of the oldest continually flowing rivers in the world. The Nile is unique in that it flows from south to north, originating in the highlands of East Africa and emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. This unusual flow pattern is largely due to the tectonic forces that shaped the African continent over millions of years. The river has played a key role in the development of the region's ecosystems, providing water to an otherwise arid landscape. Cultural and historical significance. The Nile River is deeply entwined with human history, particularly the history of ancient Egypt. The river was the lifeblood of Egyptian civilization, providing a source of water, food, and transportation. The annual flooding of the Nile was essential for agriculture, allowing the ancient Egyptians to thrive in an otherwise desert environment. The river also held religious significance. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the Nile was seen as a gift from the gods, and its waters were believed to have healing properties. The civilization that grew around the Nile gave rise to some of the most iconic monuments in human history, including the pyramids and temples of the pharaohs. Today, the Nile continues to be a vital resource for the countries it flows through, particularly Egypt and Sudan. However, the river faces significant challenges in the modern era, including issues related to water rights, dam construction, and climate change. Despite these challenges, the Nile remains one of the most iconic and important rivers in the world,